Hey everybody, Mark Johnson here, founder and creative director of Able Ape Studios. Back again with another book review, second book review of 2018. And to kind of give you a little bit of background on this book before I announce it, I read the book previous by this author and I enjoyed it very much, and I found out that there was, I guess, a second part or more or further in-depth book that he wrote on the same topic. And so I had to read it. You know, I loved the first one. I felt that there was a lot of good things that I got out of it. And, you know, he had a lot of examples, a lot of stories that kind of, you know, make the information that he's trying to get across, you know, really sink in. And I really felt that, you know, I learned a lot from that book. And there's even some of the things that I'm using currently from the first book that he wrote in my daily life to, you know, better myself and kind of, you know, push me further along my road to success. And the author for that first book is Newport. The first book's name is So Good They Can't Ignore You. And in that book, I've also done a review for it, and so I'll put a link down in the description box below to that review so you can see that review as well. But I had to get this second one. You know, I didn't really know too much about it. You know, I just kind of stumbled upon it. I didn't really know that he had a second book, but this one, like I said, goes a little more in depth into what he's trying to get across. And this one is called Deep Work, right? Deep Work in a Distracted World. You know, in this book, he really, you know, like I said, it goes deeper in the sense that he really explains the reason why, number one, research type work is going to be more important, you know, as, you know, civilization goes on, because, you know, there's so many things that are distracting us and keeping our attention levels, you know, daily distracted, you know, just totally not in a sense where we're able to kind of get to the work where, or get to the point where we're actually making real breakthroughs. You know, I think that's what he's trying to get across in this book, is that, you know, to get the real breakthroughs, you really got to be really deeply involved in what you're doing and spend, you know, I wouldn't say terribly too many hours, but maybe, you know, a couple hours in a row consecutively. You know, I'm trying to put myself in a position right now where I can actually work 2 to 3 hours in a row, you know, versus, you know, an hour here doing this, an hour doing that. And I guess that's, you know, it convenient for some people to do because that's their schedule. But I think what he talks about in this book is that, you know, a lot of the big discoveries throughout time have been from people who've spent a lot of time in their work. And not only, you know, just spending time in the work, how you're spending that time. I think what I learned from the first book that he wrote, which was, again, So Good They Can't Ignore You, was that you do have to spend time. You know, it's a matter of, you know, the one story that kind of still rings with me is one, I forgot his name, but he's an aspiring screenwriter or an aspiring TV show writer. And so he just kind of just gradually, you know, would spend time after work. You know, he'd get off work and then go, in a sense, go to his second job, which was, you know, writing. And so then he got an opportunity, and, you know, over a matter of months, that opportunity built into a bigger opportunity. He did have some setbacks, but then that built into a bigger opportunity. So, you know, it did take time, but at the same time, it took him, you know, focusing his remaining time to be able to focus on the thing that he wanted to do. And so in this book, he shares the story of Jerry Seinfeld. I love this story, you know, and I've heard it before, but I mean, to share it is that, so they asked Jerry Seinfeld how he gets to the point where he's such a good comedian. And he says that he writes every day. Just really simply just finds time within the day to write a joke every single day, you know, just without fail. And over time, that kind of just builds up, you know, and, you know, it got to the point where he had so much content that, you know, not every single one that he writes is going to be the greatest joke, but he can find content from here, content from there, and then he can build up, you know, a good set or whatever it may be. And so he talks about that. He talks about other scientists in the book where they kind of, you know, exclude themselves from just kind of daily life. Maybe they go out to a cabin for a couple of months, or maybe they have a situation where they can, within their living quarters, they can isolate themselves and just kind of just work deeply and get into the content they're trying to do and make those breakthroughs. I really enjoy it. I mean, it may be, I would say it may be, it's not difficult to read. It may be, like I said, beyond what people are trying to do, in their daily life. I think it was influential for me because, as an artist, we can get, I enjoy those times, where I can get like 2 or 3 hours just working on a project, and then look at the clock and realize, oh, I've been at this for some time. I think that's kind of the interesting part of it. And I think, as I'm also writing, I find that, just kind of getting lost in your work can be enjoyable. And I know that, I was doing that a lot this past year, throughout the year, definitely through the summer, and it kind of put me in a different mindset. I kind of really enjoyed it. And now that I'm a little more busy this year, at least the start of this year, and I'm trying to find that routine where I can still get that balance. So again, I would, as much as I can recommend a book, I think I would recommend both of these books. Again, Cal Newport's So Good They Can't Ignore You, and also Deep Work. I think this one, goes a little further, and again, it may not be for everyone, but I think it's good enough and easy enough to read that you can gain something from it, and that you can actually, and there's examples, and I think that's another thing, there's examples, much like it does in the first book. He has a lot of examples, like I talked about the Jerry Seinfeld example. There's other scientists he also uses himself as an example to share his story. And yeah, I felt it was a good read, and I would read it again. So yeah, that's Cal Port's Deep Work. And so yeah, second book review of 2018. So yeah, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, progressing, I will definitely start doing some other artworks and watch me draw videos, and some update videos, just kind of progress on where I'm at. So yeah, if you like these videos, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you want to share with me if you read either of these books, Cal Port's, Newport's So Good They Can't Ignore You, and this one, Deep Work, definitely leave that in the comment box below. Let me know what you felt about it. And yeah, like we always do this time, have a blessed day. See you on the flip side. Let's go.